Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Butt Boy, and this movie came out in 2019, and I heard that this movie was supposed to be good, and the only reason I watched it really is because not only just because it sounded like a funny title, but also it would looked kind of interesting to me. And also, side note, this is kind of a first in an unofficial trilogy that I just created for myself of movies that I hear that are good but have really weird titles. And you will hear what those movies are in just a couple of days, very shortly, one by one. And by the end of the video, you will hear what the second one is. But for now, just sticking on Butt Boy. The title of the film kind of already explains what the movie is. It's very absurdist, very ridiculous, very funny at times, like dark humor kind of things. And there's really interesting things to think about with this movie, with like the things that it's showing off. And one criticism that I do have is that like the visual effects look kind of bad in this movie and don't really look convincing, but there are some interesting ideas, and I like that this movie goes all out with it just being ridiculous. Like, it knows exactly what it is, and it just goes with it. And it does answer certain questions that you might be thinking of. Well, not all of them. It does have some sci-fi elements in there, but for the most part, it's kind of like a grounded, it's kind of like a film that just explores certain things, especially towards the end, where it's like, oh, this is happening, and this makes sense of why it would happen in this way, and I can understand how this would happen in that specific way. There were some interesting shots in this movie that kept me going through the movie, and also I like how the character of Chip is basically just dead inside for the first 10-15 minutes of the movie, and as the film goes on, more goes on with his character, but I do find it kind of interesting how his character is throughout the entire film, and his wife barely wants to touch him, and that's kind of interesting. There were points in this movie where I did kind of enjoy the music. It wasn't great music, but it was somewhat memorable at the very least, and once I discovered why the movie was called Butt Boy, which was like 30 minutes into it, maybe a bit later or sooner, like in that ballpark of like 30 minutes into it, that's where the movie kind of got somewhat funny to me. And I really enjoyed the humor of the film. And I did enjoy how this movie kind of turned into somewhat of a cat and mouse game for a little bit, and the ending to this movie was absolutely hilarious to me. I was laughing quite a bit. But I did have some issues with this movie, and the first issue that I had with this movie is that the pacing was kind of slow. I didn't really feel as though we were getting a whole lot. This movie is an hour and 40 minutes, and I feel as though if it were just 90 minutes, I feel as though it would have been a lot better. I also did feel as though two things were kind of dragging the movie down a bit, in that A, the action wasn't that well executed, and also there were some side characters that I felt were underdeveloped. Those things I feel as though could have been done a lot better if given to like someone who was like, I don't know, massively talented with these sorts of things. But unfortunately, as is, it's just a good movie to me that I had fun watching, and honestly, I would be happy to watch this movie again. And there's just some ideas in this movie that are just so funny to me. The fact that they called it Butt Boy and like fully committed to the concept, it's just hilarious to me. And that's about all I have to say about Butt Boy. It was entertaining. I liked it. I can come back to it. There's some elements that I really enjoyed about it. I like the comedy in the movie. I laughed at certain points, and there's just a decent amount of this movie that I really enjoyed, and I would recommend that you check this movie out. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Butt Boy a 6 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Butt Boy, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for The Death of Dick Long. The second movie that I hear is good that has a weird title. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.